What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video on Welds. Today we're gonna have a fun quick little video on how to choose a machine, because I've seen a lot of people struggle with that. But before we get into that, please follow my Instagrams, subscribe onto my socials, and other than that, let's get into it. So there's gonna be three things mainly when looking for a machine. One is budget, obviously, so you could see what you can afford. Two, duty cycle, which is how long the machine can last. Which, to put in perspective, the best way to describe duty cycle is if a machine has it's 0 to 100% duty cycle. So if a machine has a 20% duty cycle, it could weld 2 minutes non-stop in a 10-minute period before it overheats. So this one right here is 100% duty cycle. It could weld non-stop without overheating. 80%, it could weld 8 minutes in a 10-minute period without overheating. So that's two. And three is gonna be the processes. You're gonna want to see if you could do more, if you need multiple processes to weld or just one. If you're like specifically doing TIG and that's all you do, then there you go. But so obviously, let's start off on the budget. If your machine is of a lower price, obviously you're not gonna get the highest quality product, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get a terrible machine. You're only gonna get what you pay for. Cause previous to this, I had a $300 machine, something like that. And at the start, I mean, it was like a dream come true. It could weld whatever I needed to. It could weld. It was a multi-process actually. It could do TIG, MIG, stick, whatever I needed to. But the only thing is, for me, the only downside of it was the duty cycle. It had a 30% duty cycle, so whenever it started, I started going crazy, non-stop practicing. It would always overheat and it would flip my breakers, and the machine itself just couldn't handle it. So then at some point I upgraded to this where I could practice non-stop, and on top of that I'm getting a quality machine with a brand like Miller. I mean, we have good brands: Miller, Lincoln, Aesop, Hobart is out there. But yeah, so budget is obviously gonna be from cheaper, lower duty cycles, and most of the time when you do get a cheaper machine, they aren't multi-process. A lot of them, or at least the more quality ones, they're only gonna be one process. So if you find like a $400 Miller, most likely it's only gonna do one process. I know there are some multi-processes, but a lot of them run on 110, and you can't really weld crazy stuff with that. That's more like a backyard project type of machine. And then next is going to be the duty cycle, like I covered. Higher the duty cycle, if you're welding a lot non-stop, doing a bunch of just like long beads or whatever, you're gonna want a higher duty cycle because you don't want your machine to overheat. So if you're doing small little tags here and there, nothing crazy, honestly a low duty cycle machine, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. But if you're doing jobs, going non-stop, a higher duty cycle is probably what you want to get. And that really covers it. If you're not welding a lot, lower duty cycle, it's whatever. You could probably get away with getting a cheaper machine. But if you're doing a more volume, probably some higher standard projects, you're probably gonna want to lean towards a more expensive machine. I'm not saying you have to get this one, which is $4,500, maybe five. I honestly don't remember. It's around that ballpark. But the third thing is going to be the processes, which is going to be what you need to weld. With me, I like to practice everything, and I'm down to weld whatever comes across my way. I like to do it all. I don't like sticking to one thing. I like to have a tools. I want to be a Swiss Army knife of welding. I want to be able to do anything for what comes up, and that's why I kind of wanted a good machine, because I could weld whatever I want for as long as I want, and that covers it. So if you're just doing little small stuff, backyard stuff, you could go ahead with a smaller machine. Get the multi-process if you need that, if you're gonna do small things. But it really depends on what falls into it. If you're most of the time, if you're gonna be like a really into it welder, you're probably gonna wanna, there's nothing wrong with starting off with a small machine. I mean, like I said, I started off with a $200 machine, but then I went on and then I upgraded to the big one. If you're just doing welding car exhaust, little small stuff like that, honestly, go ahead with the small one. No need to break the bank on the big machine. But if you're really gonna get into the welding field, or you're actually getting into it, I recommend saving up and getting for a bigger machine, because in the end of the day, it's going to be an investment. It's not going to be like, oh, it's another purchase. It's going to be an investment, because this has already made me money. I've been able to practice a lot, and that practice that I've put in is very valuable to me, because the time that I put into it, that the machine hasn't been overheating or whatever, that was really valuable to me, and that paid itself off. So that's what you have to look into when you're buying something like this. And obviously, it's a Miller, it's a good brand. Like I said earlier, Miller, Lincoln, Aesop, all good brands. I have nothing against it. I just learned with Miller. I've only welded with Millers, and that's really it. But that's really much. There isn't really much to it. It just all depends to what you need a machine for, and that's gonna help you choose. If you're not doing a lot, honestly, save the money. Go with a cheaper machine. If you're going big, like really into it, get a big machine, or a hefty machine. And then you know what? I'll cover this too. So my dogs are about to go crazy right now, but sorry about that. But the fourth thing is going to be gas powered machines, and those are the ones that you see on the back of the big rigs. The back of the Rams, the Cummins, the F-150s, or not F-150, F-350s, all the Super Duties. So those big ones are gonna be for mobile welders, obviously, because they run on their own. Those are the ones you see in the oil, in the pipelines, all that. Those run off of gas. Obviously, it has a built-in generator, so it powers the machine. And those, I've seen them, start off at $10,000 and go all the way up to like 120. Those are probably, if you're getting into that, you're probably already gonna be experienced with machines. So I'm not gonna get into depth about it, but for those machines, I really recommend staying with Miller and Lincoln, because I've seen Aesop here and there, but Miller and Lincoln are the top dogs for engine-driven machines. But other than that, I hope this video has helped y'all, see what you need. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. I have some soon I'll have one or two more videos before I actually get into some actual arc shots in welding. And yeah, let's get into it. It's just a start, baby. And congratulations to the giveaway winner. I don't know if I've covered that in my other videos, but congratulations to Elton. And like, subscribe, comment if y'all want, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.